Hi guys, it's Elissa at Moat, Cottage, Homesteading. Today I'm making onion marmalade, which is my own recipe, and you guys have been asking me to make this for over 12 months now. So I'm finally going to make it, and it's something that I pressure can. But if you don't have a pressure canner, you can eat it straight away, just keep it in the fridge. So I'm going to chop these onions up and we'll start making it, and you can follow along. We need about 20 brown onions for this recipe, and my onions are a variety of sizes. So if they were all bigger, I'd use about 16, and if they were small, I would use more. But because I have a variety of sizes, I'm using about 20. We will end up with 3 quarts of sliced raw onion. Onions make me cry every time I cut them. It doesn't matter what trick I've tried, it still makes me cry. So if you have a trick that works, then leave it in the comments below and I'll try it if I haven't tried it already, because I find it really difficult. Cutting onions. Heat your fry pan and add a dollop of butter and some olive oil. Cook your onions in batches so that you don't have too many onions on your fry pan at once. And make sure you break up all the onions so that there's no big clumps and that they can cook evenly. I'm on a medium heat so the onions don't burn. It's better to cook low and slow than fast and have them burn. Once you've got your 3 quarts of raw chopped onion cooked, then you add it to a heavy base saucepan. Add half a cup of dark brown sugar, 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar. I like the balsamic vinegar from Medina. Half a cup of white wine. I'm using Pinot Grigio because that's my favourite white wine. 1½ cups of water. 1 tablespoon of fine sea salt. And 1 cup of honey. Mix the ingredients together, and now we'll head over to the hot plate so we can reduce this down. Mix on a low heat to dissolve the sugar and simmer to reduce the liquid to half. While that's reducing, I've set up my Presto pressure canner. If you want to know how to set up a Presto pressure canner from scratch, I've got a video on that and I'll leave the link in the description below. I've put 3 quarts of water and some white vinegar in it and it's ready to go. I've got sterilised canning jars ready to go, a funnel, a headspace measurer and also a debubbler to get the air bubbles out. A magnet and some lids in some hot water and some clean canning rings, as well as my canning tongs. And I have a chopping board as well to put anything hot on, and that will be the board I use to put the hot jars on when I'm finished as well, so they don't damage the table. Towards the end, stir regularly so it doesn't stick to the bottom. It takes about 30 minutes to reduce all up. That looks like it's reduced by half now, so that's ready to put in the jars. If you're not going to be pressure canning, this is where you fill your jars up, put the lids on and keep it in the fridge. I'm going to be pressure canning. Now, I'm not a master canner, so I'm not going to teach you how to can. This is just how I'm canning. So do your research, learn everything you need to learn from people who are actually qualified to teach you this. Anyone can can, but you want to do it right and you don't want to let anyone get sick. I've got my clean sterilised jars and I'm going to fill them so they have 1 inch headspace. My jars are hot as well. Canning's a messy business. That's why I have tea towels out everywhere to help catch the drips. Get the air bubbles out by jiggling your air bubble remover around the sides and squeezing them in. I'll do that with all of them. Measure 1 inch headspace. If one has too much, just take it out. That's better. Wipe the seals and threads of your jars with a clean, damp cloth to make sure you get all the food residue off so that the lids can seal properly. Pop your lid on. And then just finger tight, so it's not too tight, just finger tight. 1 jar of onion marmalade ready for canning. This recipe makes enough for 4 3/4 of half pint jars. If you're going to pressure can it, you're going to have to do the math to work out how many jars fit in your pressure canner and how much you need to times the recipe by so you can make the right amount at the one time. This is a good size for people who don't have pressure canners because not everybody does, and this is a good size just to keep in your fridge. I'll be processing these half pint jars for 20 minutes in the pressure canner, and I'll be using a 10-pound gauge because of my altitude. You need to check what altitude you are where you're canning and use the appropriate weight for your altitude. Make sure you get the Blue Book of Canning because that explains everything that you need to know, and you can work it out. I write on my book so that I can remember the important points when I haven't canned for a while, just to remind me, and with my altitude of where I am so that everything's just there. We need to do the taste test. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. That is so good. I love it, and it's going to get better as it ages. Not that there's anything wrong with it. This goes great with meat if you're a meat eater, vegetables. I love it with everything, really. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.